Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review of TranZit. Now that the PS5 port came out, I've played it for the first time in probably 10 years. So I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts and share it with you guys. So how the review is going to work. We're first going to go over the story and the atmosphere first. And we're going to rank it on a scale from 1 to 10. That's kind of going to be the first part of this video. And then working into the second half, we are going to go into the gameplay and the map design and rank it on a scale from 1 to 10. At the very end, we're going to get those two category scores and put them together, and that's going to be the overall score for the map. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the review.
Preparing this location should take no time at all for Marlton. Dun dun dun. Engineer.
I really do think TranZit has one of the better openings in Call of Duty Zombies. With the bus horn sounding off and the lifeless zombies, I think it's a great way to start the game. After the spawn room, you get to see the outside, and I think this is where TranZit really excels. TranZit feels like an apocalypse. There's lava, there's fire, there's ash everywhere, bus is broken down. I think it does a good job at world building and setting the tone for the first area of the map. I also think traveling between locations on the bus adds to the atmosphere. Instead of moving from area to area, you're driving through the ruins of civilization, and I feel like it makes the world more connected. Unfortunately, the overall look of the map is completely ruined if you fall off this bus because of the fog. Fog is gray, dull, and it takes up about 80% of the map. It is kind of scary if there's a zombie chasing you through here, or if there's a denizen that's about to jump on your head, but it would kind of be better if you could see at least a little bit better, or if there was no fog at all. After you get through the fog, you'll probably end up at Diner. Diner really isn't the most memorable, but it serves as a good continuation of that first spawn room. Next is Farm. Farm is probably the worst out of each of the locations, aesthetically and atmospherically. I don't know if that's the word, but we'll go with it. Yeah, I think this was just not a good looking place. It doesn't feel like an apocalypse, and it kind of blends in with the fog. Next up is the power station. I think the power station is not really the best, but it has the underground like electrical power thing, and it holds the Avogadro. So I think story-wise, and even atmospherically-wise, I think it does kind of hold its own as at least being better than Farm, and probably the Diner.
Choices.
I think I'm going to use this clip of the Avogadro spawning to just keep talking crap on Farm.
This is
Farm
definitely a thing.
is a dull, like, it's just a continuation of the fog. It's green, dull, and unexciting. No one likes Farm. But yeah, Avogadro is pretty cool. I like the idea of like releasing the monster and like you didn't know about it. I think that adds to the story. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. That's what should be playing every time you enter in town. Town is great. It fits the vibe that TranZit's trying to go for. It's a broken down town. There's good training spots. Broken down bowling alley, broken down church. I really do like town. I also wanted to shout out Nocturne and Toten being on this map. I mean, there's not much to it, but they still added it. I think it's pretty cool. It's in the cornfields, and then there's also the cabin, which has the Bowie knife. So, cool additions. You don't have to go to them, but I like that they added them. Alright, and now for the Easter egg and the story. Look at me mess up this denizen. Wait for it. Bye. Anyways. This is the Easter egg in the story. You can either follow Richtofen or Maxis, and you're trying to kind of power up this tower here. I follow Richtofen. That's why it's blue. But you can choose either side. You can get quotes from Maxis, who transmits through electrical signals. Pretty cool.
Some kind of wind machine?
Or you can follow Richtofen and build the jet gun and spin for EMPs for 10 years. But I think the overall story for this Easter egg
highly
I
inaccurate
think
weapon.
it's a good introductory storyline.
predict a homunculus
You're powering the
spider pattern in
towers
about
for
20
either
meters.
side, so you're either doing Maxis or Richthofen, and they're trying to get control of the ether. It's a continuation of Moon, which I think makes this map even more cool. It's the results of your Easter egg and Moon. I know people don't like the Victus crew, but I think they have pretty funny
Second of
quotes.
that, I might
But
have started
yeah,
screaming.
here's me doing the Richthofen Easter egg. For the story and atmosphere, I'm actually going to give it a pretty solid rating, even though I know you people do not like TranZit. I think it's a solid 6 out of 10. I think the overall vibe that goes on within the map, I think it's pretty cool. It's weighed down by the fog and some kind of dull places like farm. But I think overall it's a good 6 out of 10. Easter egg's not bad. It's not the best thing ever. It's not the most aesthetically pleasing map, but I think it accomplishes what it sets out to do. So, 6 out of 10. Alright, for the gameplay, I think it's only right to kind of start with the buildables. I think this clip here has me just building the turbine. But the buildables, it's ambitious, and it was done much better in later renditions or later zombie maps. But in this one, it was kind of done a little poorly and not thought out very well, because you can only grab one part at a time. You run into the problem where if you're trying to build like the jet gun, and you're trying to build power, you got to drop your jet gun piece, or you got to drop whatever piece to carry it, or run all the way back from one location to the other to get all your pieces together. So I think buildable parts like building our power, what are we doing here?
Capacity, I must
then,
make difficult choices.
You know, I'm just showing here you can't really carry more than one at a time, but trying to kind of put everything together. So I don't think it was done very well trying to get all the building stuff done, and then a lot of buildables aren't that good. Like, I don't like the turbine, the electric trap is on here. Zombie Shield was a good addition. But I do think where this map excels at is if you're playing co-op and everyone's surviving on the bus, it does feel like kind of like a 2012 zombie movie, almost like a stupid movie that you watch. It's a stupid group of survivors, and you're just all kind of sitting there on the bus trying to get through the apocalypse. I like that feeling of this map. I think that kind of contributes to the atmosphere. But like going from location to location, trying to get like whatever gun you can, and trying to put stuff together, I think that's the fun part about this map. But then of course when you fall off, not fun at all. And then the fog and the distance. I want to include this clip because the denizens, the distance in between each of your places, ruins this map. It just doesn't add to it. It doesn't add anything to this map. It covers 80% of it, like I said before. There's not much really benefit to it. There's nothing in it that's cool. I mean, the cabins here, I guess. But overall, I think the fog, just the distance between each of the locations. If you fall off the bus, you're basically screwed. There's no way of getting people or reviving people. So I think the co-op's pretty fun. Solo's not bad either. You just got to kind of keep up with stuff. But the distance between locations and grabbing perks is really bad about this map. And having to run through the fog to get through to some of those things is another one. I think a good example here is just like, okay, these people go down, I'm training in the tunnel. Well, they're all the way in town. They're dead. There's no such thing as getting revived and keeping your stuff in TranZit, because everyone just dies if you get stretched apart. Also, Pack-a-Punch. This is bad. You have to have this turbine on, and it breaks half the time. And then you got to run down, you got to build Pack-a-Punch. Hopefully that turbine doesn't break, and if the turbine does break, you're going to have to run to Bus Depot, get a new turbine, and then re-put it back on there and hope that one doesn't break. So then you probably spend 15 minutes just trying to build Pack-a-Punch. And then it closes every so often. So it's not fun. There's nothing fun about doing any of this stuff. I don't like it. I don't know who does like this part of the gameplay. I wish it was a little bit smaller. I think that would benefit it. But yeah, the only thing that does help here is there is a bank system. I think this is a good addition. You got to give them some credit. if you play a previous match and you dump a bunch of points in there, you can get over here early, start training. And that's another good thing is there's good training spots on this map, like town, the tunnel. It's just the distance between stuff that really loses you on this map. There's no like, hey, I'm gonna go get a bunch of revives and help out my teammates. It's just like if someone dies, that your run's over. So I do like the train spots in town, the tunnel I have here. Tunnel's pretty good. I know there's one on farm, but overall, yeah, I think besides there being a few good training spots, and I think playing co-op maybe once or twice is pretty fun. But once you like really dig down into it, it's not the most fun to play. The buildables take forever. Your jet gun breaks. You hope that people are close together, but I don't know. Your perks are always far apart. If you want double tap, you got to go all the way to farm. Here's me about to die on the bus, but yeah. Overall, gameplay, map design, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10 here. Yeah, I think this map, it doesn't really excel that much at anything, especially with the buildables. But overall, like, training's fine. It's okay. It's fine if you get set up. But overall gameplay, if you try to go in a public lobby, the match usually ends because everyone quits because someone got stranded on farm at the very end. So, what is my final score? My final score is a 4.5 out of 10. That's if you took those two previous scores, you added them together and divided by 2. I think this kind of embodies TranZit. It's a very ambitious map. It tries to do a lot, but it does fall apart a little bit in the gameplay area. It becomes not fun. It becomes very tedious. So thank you guys for watching, and have a good one.